There are 4 things that I wish I knew before I tried to list my car on Turo, and here they are. Do you know what Turo is? If you do, then leave a comment below with the word yes. If you don't know what Turo is, leave a comment below with the word no, and be sure to watch my earlier video where I describe what Turo is and how you can use it as a business model for making money while you work from home. I'll leave a link in the description below. Alright, let's get started. So for me, the 4 things that I wish I knew all center around understanding my market. What are the vehicles in demand for my market space, and what can I expect to get out of it? Southern California, LA specifically, Los Angeles area is where I'm at. Turns out is the largest market within Turo's space. If we look at the average host earnings, the average host in Los Angeles earns just over $1,400 per month. And they do that, at least most of the hosts have 1 car available. Some have 2, and an even smaller percentage have 3 cars. But for the most part, most of the hosts in Los Angeles own 1 car, and they make it available for rent. Alright, so if you've seen my earlier video, you know that I have a 2012 Honda Odyssey van that I had considered putting it on Turo. But is that really what customers want? I just thought I had an extra vehicle, I might as well try to rent it out. But let me do a little bit of research and let me show you my results after I did that research. Alright, so it really comes down to what do the customers want. And what I found is that there's a difference between what the customers are actually searching for and then what they actually rent. Okay, so I think like most of us, if we're searching to rent a car, we might look at something that's unattainable, or at least under normal circumstances. We want to splurge a little, treat ourselves, so we might look at some of the higher end cars, fancy cars, luxury cars, things that we may not normally have within our grasp to drive on a daily basis. So we can see the demands for the most searched makes of cars. Number 1, BMW. Number 2, Mercedes. 3 is Porsche. 4, Tesla. And 5 is Audi. So if you go and you look at the statistics, within the Los Angeles area, these are the cars that are most searched for, right? So people looking to rent one of these higher end vehicles. And like I said, so people are searching for it, but really, what are they getting? That's what the difference is. What are people searching for, and then what are they actually renting? And so there's a big difference between what people are looking for and what they actually get. And so when you start looking at all the data, it might be confusing because you might see a lot of people renting out some of these higher end cars, Mercedes, BMWs, Ferraris, Lambos, high end SUVs. But in actuality, is that really what's getting rented, or are those special cases that have become very popular? And so we see that, but that leads to a misconception, right? We think everybody's renting those out, and so there must be a huge demand for it. Well, that was the mistake I made, right? So what are people searching for, and what are they actually getting? And to go even further, what are the types of cars are they getting, right? Are they actually getting the sports cars, or are they getting something a little more practical, right? So maybe they're getting a hybrid, or maybe they're getting a subcompact car, or maybe they're getting a pickup truck. Not everybody drives a sports car wherever you're at. And in my particular case, I'm in Southern California, so there tends to be a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of them, but I tend to see more Mercedes, BMW, some of these higher end vehicles out here. But on the Turo platform, is that what customers are really getting, right? So they're looking for them, but are they actually booking them? And so I want to take a look and show you what that's all about. So what are the vehicle types or categories that are getting booked the most on Turo? We can see by this graph very easily, almost 1/4 of the bookings come from compact and subcompact cars, 24%. Next, it's the SUV and pickup market, 18%. And so keep in mind, this is for my area, Southern California, the Los Angeles area. And of course, I talked about renting out my minivan, and look, 3% only. So if I rent out my minivan, there's a very tiny market share that's looking for rental of a minivan. So I'm probably not going to have that much luck. And I will get it rented out, but there's not that many people looking for it, so I won't be able to book most of my days. So I guess, I need to take a look at some other categories. So if I'm going to look at purchasing a car or leasing a car and making it available to TURO, what should I do? Well, I'm going to go for the compact or subcompact market because, there's a larger share of the audience looking for these types of cars and actually booking them. Now, they may be looking, initially at the higher end cars, the BMWs, the Mercedes, the Teslas, the Audis. But in reality, what's happening is the majority of them, 24% of the market is actually getting a compact or a subcompact car. In addition, I want to know what are the more popular makes and models of vehicle, right? So I've got an older Honda Odyssey. Can I rent that out? Or maybe, how about this? What if I want to actually buy a vehicle that I can use specifically for making available on the TURO platform? I hear about people doing this, right? They own one car, two cars, or a fleet of cars, and these cars are specifically for renting out on the TURO platform. Well, if I'm going to do that, or if someone's interested in doing that, they should do a little bit of research to figure out what's the actual cars that people are looking for. And so I wanted to find out, all right, I see what people are searching for, but what are they actually getting? What's the category of cars they're getting? And what are the make and models, the most popular brands? Because if I'm going to do it, I want to grab one of those and make that available, because then that helps me generate more income, because I know the car that I have, whatever I get, will be in demand, and so it'll be rented out more days, and therefore I can make more profit. Let's look at the top booked cars and the earnings per car. All right, so in this graph, if you look at this dark line, this black, dark gray, almost black line, these are gross earnings based on car type. So the top grossing car, the Ford Mustang. Next, the Jeep Wrangler. Third, Toyota Prius, followed by Mercedes-Benz and the Chevy Corvette. So these are the top earnings, right? The earnings in the dark line. Now, as far as bookings, the number of trips completed, again, Ford Mustang comes out number 1. Toyota Prius is number 2 with the number of bookings. Number 3, the Jeep Wrangler. 4, the Mercedes. And 5, the Corvette. So these 5 cars in my area are going to be the top bookings and earners, as it turns out, for the LA area. And interesting to note here, right? Toyota Prius, the number of trips completed, it finishes second place, but as far as earnings, it finishes in third place behind the Jeep Wrangler. So it gets rented a lot. So what that means is it gets rented a lot. There's a lot of demand for it, but the actual earnings tends to be lower. So that's something to take into consideration. Now, the other category for these other 2 tips come in seasonality. And what do I mean by that? So seasonality has to do with time, right? So it's time of the year, time of day, anything that has that temporal type characteristic to it. And so number 1 for me is, what are the most popular days? Well, in Southern California, the most popular days are kind of what you would expect, and it's probably true for most of the area. It's going to be the weekends, right? It's the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday kind of thing. Now, that's not to say there aren't rentals during the rest of the week, because there are. People rent cars. They come into town for vacation or on business trips. So Monday through Thursday, cars are getting rented, but I think the height of the popularity is probably on the weekends, at least where I'm at. As for most popular rental days, it's exactly what I would expect. The weekends tend to have the higher rental, with Saturday being the highest, followed by Sunday and then Friday. And then the lowest popular days are the earlier days in the week, right? The Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday is a little bit higher, possibly because people are returning their cars after a longer weekend. And so knowing that information can also help me figure out, all right, when I list my car on Turo, I don't have to make it available for the whole week because I know that the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to get the most traffic, the most customers during that time frame. So I can decide for myself, does it make sense to make that car available for the full week or only part of the week? So I can bounce that around and figure out, maybe I can use the car that I'm already driving, my everyday driver, and just rent it out on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I can keep it and use it for myself during the early parts of the week. And then the last part is, what is the typical duration, right? So I want to know if cars are getting rented 1 day out of the week, 2 days, 3 days, 7 days, longer periods. I think it tends to be shorter durations, but it would be helpful to know so that I could plan accordingly. What's the average trip duration? So we can see the most popular is between 1 and 3 days, and the next popular 3 and 5 days, with the average trip duration lasting 4 days. Now that I have this information, I've answered those 4 basic questions. Now I have an idea of what car I'm going to get so that I can make it available for a rental on Turo and have the best chance of success. Hi, quick announcement. We're super excited about this new ebook titled 20 Ways to Make an Online Income. If you're stuck thinking about different ways that you can work from home, get this free ebook. It's real simple. All you do is visit TEACHucation.com/free ebook and we'll send it right out to you. You can also click a link in the description below. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button. And also, be sure to subscribe so you'll get access to all my videos. And then click on the bell icon so you'll get notified every time I release a new video with more tips, tricks, hints, and secrets. If you have a dream of working from home, make a plan, take action on that plan, and start living your dream. Hey, so I got a quick legal disclaimer here. The content that I'm sharing with you should not be construed as financial or legal advice. What I'm giving you is strictly for educational purposes only. So if you need to, please consult with a qualified professional regarding your specific situation. Now that I've got that out of the way, let's get down to the real content.